Have you ever wondered how the unsinkable Titanic met its tragic end? Often heralded as a marvel of engineering, the Titanic was the largest and most luxurious ship of its time. With its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York City, it had captured the world's imagination. The Titanic was more than just a ship, it was a symbol of progress, of human achievement. It was said to be unsinkable, a testament to man's triumph over nature. This floating city was the epitome of luxury, with grand staircases, opulent dining rooms, and staterooms fit for royalty. There was an air of invincibility about it, an excitement that was palpable among both the passengers and the crew. Everyone was looking forward to what was expected to be a grand voyage across the Atlantic. Little did anyone know, this voyage would go down in history for all the wrong reasons. On April 10, 1912, the Titanic embarked on its maiden voyage, carrying approximately 2,224 passengers and crew. The Titanic was more than just a ship, it was a microcosm of early 20th century society. Within its steel walls, it held a diverse array of individuals, each with their own dreams and aspirations. From the opulent first-class cabins to the modest third-class quarters, the Titanic was a vessel of dreams. It carried some of the wealthiest individuals of the time, such as John Jacob Astor IV and Benjamin Guggenheim, who enjoyed the luxurious amenities and high society of the first-class facilities. Their lives were characterized by extravagance and grandeur, a stark contrast to the simple lives of the third-class passengers. These were individuals and families, primarily immigrants, who had left their homes with the hope of a new life in America. They traveled in simple but comfortable quarters, their dreams of prosperity and freedom fueling their journey across the vast Atlantic. Despite the class disparities, there was a shared sense of excitement and anticipation. The Titanic was the largest ship afloat and boasted advanced safety features for its time. It was deemed virtually unsinkable, but beneath the veneer of luxury and safety, there lurked a grim reality. The Titanic was equipped with just 20 lifeboats, far short of the 48 it had the capacity for. This was a decision driven by aesthetics and misguided confidence, one that would soon prove to be a fatal oversight. As the Titanic cut through the icy Atlantic waters, the passengers were oblivious to the impending danger. They reveled in the ship's magnificence, enjoyed lavish meals, and shared stories of hope and ambition. But just 4 days into the voyage, the grandeur of the Titanic was about to be tested by an unforeseen disaster. 4 days into the voyage, the Titanic was about to face an unforeseen disaster. On the night of April 14th, the Titanic's fate was sealed by an iceberg. An object so simple yet so deadly loomed in the ship's path. The night was clear, the sea was calm, but the biggest threat was hidden beneath the water's surface. The Titanic, a ship hailed as unsinkable, was traveling at high speed through the iceberg-infested waters of the North Atlantic. It was a game of chance that the ship was destined to lose. The iceberg was spotted too late, and despite the crew's best efforts, the ship couldn't avoid a collision. The iceberg scraped the Titanic's right side, causing a series of holes below the waterline. The damage stretched across nearly a third of the ship, far beyond the reach of the watertight compartments designed to keep the vessel afloat in case of an emergency. Immediately after the collision, the crew sprang into action. Captain Edward Smith ordered the ship's carpenter to sound the ship, a naval term meaning to measure the depth of water in the hull. Simultaneously, Thomas Andrews, the ship's architect, conducted a quick inspection. Their assessments confirmed the worst. 5 of the ship's 16 watertight compartments were breached. The design could withstand up to 4 flooded compartments, but not 5. The ship started to tilt, its bow sinking into the icy water. The unsinkable Titanic was sinking. The crew had a monumental task at hand, to maintain order among the passengers and launch the lifeboats. But there was a problem. The Titanic was equipped with only 20 lifeboats, enough for about half the people on board. The wireless operators began sending distress signals, hoping for a miracle. A nearby ship, the Carpathia, received the distress call and immediately set a course for the Titanic. But they were 4 hours away, and time was running out. Despite efforts to save the ship, the damage was irreversible. The Titanic, a marvel of human ingenuity, was defeated by nature's cold, hard reality. The iceberg collision marked the beginning of the end for the unsinkable ship and the people on board. In the early hours of April 15th, the unsinkable Titanic began its descent into the Atlantic Ocean. As the ship's band played on, Attempting to keep spirits high, the harsh reality of the situation began to dawn on the passengers and crew. The Titanic, the marvel of the age, was going down. The ship's officers and crew began the evacuation process. With the bitter cold of the Atlantic night biting at their heels, they launched the lifeboats. But here's the irony. Many of these lifeboats were launched half-empty. Despite having room for over 2,000 people, the lifeboats carried away only a fraction of those on board. In the chaos and confusion, the women and children first protocol was implemented, but even then the lifeboats weren't filled to capacity. As the lifeboats rowed away, the desperation of those left on board became palpable. The ship, once a symbol of human ingenuity and progress, had become a scene of unimaginable horror. People clung to railings, to each other, their faces etched with fear and disbelief. The sounds of the orchestra became a haunting backdrop to the unfolding tragedy. And then, the final moments. The ship's stern rose high into the air as the bow plunged deeper into the icy waters. The Titanic, once thought unsinkable, was being swallowed by the ocean. The heart-wrenching cries of those on board echoed in the night as the ship's lights flickered out one by one. Within 3 hours of the collision, the Titanic lay at the bottom of the ocean. A chilling silence fell over the Atlantic, broken only by the soft lapping of waves against the sides of the lifeboats and the quiet sobbing of survivors. The Unsinkable had sunk, taking with it the lives of over 1,500 people, a harsh reminder of the impermanence of human achievement. The sinking of the Titanic resulted in approximately 1,500 deaths, making it one of the deadliest peacetime maritime disasters in history. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the world was left in a state of shock and grief. Rescue efforts were launched immediately, but the frigid Atlantic waters proved a formidable adversary. The Carpathia, a ship that had received the Titanic's distress signal, arrived 2 hours after the ship had sunk, rescuing 705 survivors from the lifeboats. The stories of these survivors, etched into history, are a testament to human resilience. There was Molly Brown, dubbed the Unsinkable, who helped others into lifeboats and kept spirits high until their rescue. And then there was Violet Jessup, a stewardess and nurse who survived not just the Titanic, but also the sinking of her sister ship, the Britannic. The tragedy of the Titanic reverberated around the globe, leading to significant changes in maritime safety regulations. The disaster underscored the dire need for adequate lifeboat provisions on ocean liners. It brought to light the lack of a standardized system for distress signals. In response, the first International Convention for Safety of Life at Sea was held in 1913, leading to the formation of the International Ice Patrol to monitor icebergs and provide safer routes for ships. The Titanic disaster also led to the adoption of the SOLAS, Safety of Life at Sea Convention in 1914, which dictated that ships must carry enough lifeboats for all passengers. It further mandated regular lifeboat drills and 24-hour radio watch to ensure immediate response to distress signals. A century later, the Titanic still captures our collective imagination. The ship's tragic end continues to inspire art, literature, and film, reminding us of the hubris of man in the face of nature's might. The Titanic disaster remains a powerful reminder of nature's might and the importance of preparedness. So, what might have gone through the minds of those on board as they faced their destiny? One can only speculate about the flurry of emotions that gripped the passengers and crew of the Titanic in those final, fateful moments. Fear, regret, hope, despair, a poignant kaleidoscope of human sentiment amidst chaos. In the heart of this tragedy, we find a mirror reflecting the best and worst of humanity. Courage as strangers helped one another, selflessness as some gave up their spots on lifeboats, and the innate will to survive. But also the stark divide of class, the negligence of safety, and the arrogance of deeming a ship unsinkable. We remember the approximately 1,500 lives lost, a stark reminder of our vulnerability, and the around 724 survivors, symbols of human resilience. From this reflection, we derive lessons of humility, the importance of preparedness, and the value of each life. The Titanic story is not just a tale of a ship sinking, but a reflection on humanity's triumphs, failures, and resilience.